Welcome.
Marvel. So I'm a supreme being, so what? Under edit by foolish sociopath. Yahoo. I thought as I used teleportation to dodge mother's attacks. Yes, it has been quite a while. I am now Xana Horror with its overpowered immortality skill. In fact, with my knowledge of the plot, I hesitated if I should kill mother as it would send Ariel crazy trying to destroy my ass, but I decided to do it anyway. Mother did have a hand in making it easier as she did come at me with every intention to kill me after all. That brings me to another point to address. I'm most likely going to be a girl, aren't I? I was distraught when I first had the realization what feels like ages ago. I didn't mention I was a boy in my previous life. Well, I was. Anyway, I have just come to accept reality by now as nothing seems to go my way anyway. So I just took the fact with the attitude of being thankful to live again, not to mention Shirori is hella powerful. Also, even if I tried to copy the path Shirori took, it would not be possible due to the butterfly effect. So I've been taking things in stride, doing what I want, keeping the most important parts the same. For instance, getting the pride skill was a no-brainer, but at the same time I am a little more powerful than Shirori was by the time she faced mother, as I have been hunting more than she was. Maybe there's a discrepancy between the novel and reality, but this great Elro labyrinth is even larger than it was made out to be. There were also many more boss level monsters that I had to face. As a result, I only need 5 more levels to meet the conditions for evolution into an Arachne, as I am LV 45 now. By the time I kill mother, I can become an Arachne. Hopefully. I have also of course made some preparations just in case Ariel comes and whoops my ass. I have a whole area in the labyrinth covered by eggs using the egg laying skill just in case I get killed. I don't want to mess up now due to being overconfident and not taking precautions. I will become a mother before I ever was able to become a father. It's a bittersweet moment. Also, the system seems to be slightly different in minor places. For instance, I was able to name myself Shirori and it displayed so when I used appraisal. It will be ridiculous though if I somehow due to some cosmic fluke end up becoming a man instead of a girl and have to call myself Shirori. That's the sad part, as I realized I could not change the name after I had already set it up to be so. And back to reality. I'm only talking to you through the parallel mind skill while my main body is still fighting mother. I have already destroyed the puppets and I have been running all around the cave section with my butthole on full power. Cough, I mean spewing out spider webs to trap mother. I was originally going to teleport mother to the lava pool and then finish her off, but that did not work. And for the finishing touch, Abyss Magic LV10, just to be sure she would be gone. And the empty space where mother stood earlier just speaks for itself, doesn't it? Well, in the system notification that I have leveled up and meet the condition to evolve. Author's note, I'm glossing over the fight because I honestly don't remember a lot of Shirori's skills and fighting style, as I had read the WN and LN long ago. So Imari read it so I can describe future battles properly. I first teleport to the area where the Horonia have already started hatching and are happily moving towards me as if to recognize their mother. Oh, you guys are so cute. I conveyed my thoughts to them. Not gonna lie, I wish the Horonia had more screen time. Their whole dynamic with Shirori could have been explored much better. Seriously, my aesthetic sense and thought process has been skewed, as I did not like insects before being reborn as a spider. It doesn't matter anymore either way. I mentally give them the command to keep watch around in case some beast or critter comes and give the A-OK for evolution into an Arachne, as I let the darkness swallow me. My vision returns and signifies the completion of my evolution into an Arachne. Many skills have reached max level and of course my body size has increased. Looking down I can see the large lower body of a spider. As I am an Arachne, I have a human upper body which almost feels weird after such a long time. Even though the amount of time I have spent in my spider body is lesser than my human one, the sheer amount of things I have experienced since I have been reincarnated here as a spider is more than my lifetime as a human. Being completely honest, all I did was waste time as a human. I bent down to see my reflection in the spider eyes and I am greeted with the foreign face I am quite familiar with. Yep, it's confirmed now. I have definitely become Shirori. I look exactly like her. Good thing I solved an identity crisis issues much earlier. Regardless, now to look at my stats. I say, appraisal, in a barely audible voice only to be greeted by Arachne LV 1 skill points, 0 Shirori. Stats. HP, 38,111. MP, 44,024. SP, 33,557. Offense, 35,799. Defense, 35,682. Magic, 42,170. Resistance, 42,068. Speed, 41,063. Skills. HP Ultra Fast Recovery LV8, Height of Occultism, SP Rapid Recover LV10, SP Minimized Consumption LV10, Celestial Power, Ultimate Life LV10, Ultimate Movement LV10, Fortune LV10, Fortitude LV10, Stronghold LV10, Skandar LV10, Magic Power Super Attack LV3, Energy Super Attack LV5, Deadly Poison Attack LV10, Enhanced Paralysis Attack LV10, Rot Attack LV7, Heretic Attack LV9, Destruction Super Enhancement LV7, Impact Super Enhancement LV8, Cutting Super Enhancement LV6, Piercing Super Enhancement LV7, Shock Super Enhancement LV7, Status Condition Super Enhancement LV10, Magic Divinity LV8, Magic Power Conferment LV10, Magic Conferment LV3, Battle Divinity LV10, Energy Conferment LV10, Ability Conferment LV7, Divine Dragon Power LV8, Dragon Barrier LV6, Poison Synthesis LV10, Medicine Synthesis LV10, Expel LV10, Divine Thread Weaving, Thread Control LV10, Psychokinesis LV9, Dimensional Maneuvering LV10, Iron Defense LV7, Panoptic Vision LV4, King Control LV10, Concentration LV10, Thought Super Acceleration LV6, Future Sight LV6, Parallel Minds LV10, High Speed Processing LV10, Heretic Magic LV10, Wind Magic LV10. Gale Magic LV8, Earth Magic LV10, Terrain Magic LV10, Seismic Magic LV1, Light Magic LV8, Holy Light Magic LV3, Shadow Magic LV10, Dark Magic LV10, Black Magic LV10, Poison Magic LV10, Healing Magic LV10, Miracle Magic LV10, Spatial Magic LV10, Dimensional Magic LV9, Abyss Magic LV10, Jinx Evil Eye LV9, Inert Evil Eye LV8, Sealing Evil Eye LV3, Anti-Magic Evil Eye LV2, Repellent Evil Eye LV7, Warped Evil Eye LV4, Annihilating Evil Eye LV6, Destruction Super Resistance LV6, Impact Nullification, Cutting Super Resistance LV6, Piercing Super Resistance LV6 Shock Super Resistance LV6 Flame Resistance LV9 Flood Resistance LV3 Gale Resistance LV8 Terrain Resistance LV9 Bolt Resistance LV3 Holy Light Resistance LV6 Black Resistance LV9 Heavy Super Resistance LV8 Status Condition Nullification Acid Super Resistance LV8 Rot Super Resistance LV6 Faint Super Resistance LV1 Fear Super Resistance LV4 Shieldsmanship LV3 Threat Genius LV10 Hit LV10 Evasion LV10 Probability Super Correction LV10 Throw LV10 Emperor Concealment LV2 Stealth LV10 Silence LV10 Odorless LV8 5 Senses Super Enhancement LV10 Perception Expansion LV8 Immortality Egglaying LV10 Hades Corruption Conviction Offer Hero LV2 Great Demon Lord LV1 Charity Perseverance Pride Rage LV3 Usurp LV4 Satiation LV10 Sloth Wisdom Divinity Expansion LV9 Taboo N% I equals W. Titles: Foul Feeder, King Eater, Assassin, Monster Slayer, Poison Technique User, Thread User, Merciless, Monster Slaughterer, Ruler of Pride, Ruler of Perseverance, Ruler of Wisdom, WYRM Slayer, Fearbringer, Dragon Slayer, Ruler of Sloth, Monster Calamity, Champion, Human Slayer, Human Slaughterer, Rescuer, Medicinal Technique User, Saint, Savior, Ruler of Charity, Guardian, Human Calamity, Nightmare of the Labyrinth, Glitch. My status page is pretty much the same as Shirori's with a few differences. The name of course as well as some titles. Although I have never left the labyrinth like Shirori did, I did help score of soldiers who came to the labyrinth earning me titles of Saint, Rescuer etc. I don't remember the actual conditions and I can't be bothered to look them up to get those positive sounding titles, so this is just bullshit. Also I just copied the status page from the wiki. What the players will see if they try to appraise Shirori will be different. This status page will be converted to overvisual format and be visible to them. There are also titles, Nightmare of the Labyrinth, and Glitch. I'm also apparently called a nightmare and this has also been certified by the system now. It is a passive which basically causes status ailments like fear to others who witness me. What's important is glitch. When I try to appraise it, what comes out is, you are a glitch in the system. You appear as a native to the natives and as a foreigner to the foreigners. I have no idea what that means, and basically it just means that players will think of her as a player as well while at the same time registering as a NPC and not enjoying any player benefits there might be such as shops, gacha, her own system which is different from Overgrissel system etc. Well, I'll think about it later, toodles. Ain's Owl Gown will be introduced in the next chapter and Shirori will join them. Chapter 3. 3. Shirori. Marvel, so I'm a supreme being, so what? Under edit by Foolish Sociopath. A gigantic table carved of gleaming black stone sat in the center of the room, surrounded by 41 luxurious chairs. However, most of those seats were empty. Once, every single place had been filled, but now only 2 were occupied. One of the seated people was clothed in a magnificent black academic robe, edged in violet and gold. The collar seemed excessively gaudy, but somehow it fit the overall design. However, the exposed head was a bare skull. Points of dark red light glowed in its large eye sockets, and behind that skull glowed a halo of black radiance. The being in the other seat was not human either, merely a mass of a black, sticky substance. Its star-like surface rolled and writhed continuously, never staying in the same shape for more than a second. The former was an overlord, the highest ranked of those magic casters who had become undead in order to learn the most potent spells. The latter was an elder black ooze, which boasted the most powerful corrosive ability of the slime families. I'm having trouble staying awake. I think I'll log off first. I'm glad I could meet you in the end. Good night, said the elder black ooze, or rather Hero. Today's the last day of the game. I know you are tired, but we'll never have a chance like this again. Why don't we stay together until the end? Of course, there was no response, because Hero had already returned to reality. This is the great tomb of Nazarick that we built together. How could you abandon it just like that? No, they did not abandon it but made a choice between fantasy and reality. Mominga picked up the staff of Ain's Owl Gown that had been crafted by the last few remaining members of the guild. I wonder if Shirori-san will come online today. Probably will, she was the only other player that stayed behind after all. Speaking of Shirori-san, she was truly a strange one. Mominga recollected their first encounter together as he walked past the incomparable great underground tomb of Nazarick. She seemed to be online most of the times, but that makes sense considering the reason she gave. Apparently she had a terminally ill disease due to which she could not leave bed, so YGGDRASIL was her only source of freedom. Poor girl, that's why we made an exception and allowed her to join Ain's Owl Gown even if she was not a working member of society. She also rarely ever spoke using her own voice, relying on the chat software instead to communicate, which she did a lot. When she did speak, it was a couple of barely audible words, causing Perodonchino to name her Kuria-chan before getting beaten up by her. Mominga thought about the time when their guild ventured into one of the highest level dungeons in YGGDRASIL a few years back, the Great Elro Labyrinth, and sank into the depths of memories. Grasped heart, Mominga muttered, causing the Great Elro Basilisk to collapse dead before vanishing. The upper and middle stratum of the labyrinth no longer possessed any challenge at all to the members of Ain's Owl Gown's fully leveled members. As if on cue, Mominga saw Touchme and Ulbert Alanodal, 2 of the strongest players in Overgrissel, coming towards him while having their usual squabbles. Interestingly, there was another player called Shirori on the leaderboard that was as strong as them, but surprisingly no one had really seen her until now. Bokuboku Chagama, Perodonchino and Tabulus Margarina also appeared out of a gate, having cleared out the areas they were responsible for as planned earlier. Let's head deeper, Mominga said. The Great Elro Labyrinth was going to be their training ground before they conquered the great underground tomb of Nazarick. They had already made sufficient preparations, with the latter being their goal for quite a long time. Is that some sort of spider monster over there? Tabula remarked with surprise in his tone, drawing their attention towards where he pointed. Upon inspection, the others could understand his surprise, as they had never seen this sort of spider monster in the dozens of times they had raided the labyrinth, causing them to appraise said spider monster. Name. Race, minimum lesser Horonia, unique species. Level, 0. Racial classes. Ellipsis ... closing square bracket. All the other parts were blank, but one thing caught their attention. Creator, Summoner, Shirori. Normally YGGDRASIL system would give the title of Summoner for a summoned beast, not Creator. The only exception was if a player somehow managed to create a new species in some unknown manner. That would make sense considering the unique species in brackets. This spider seemed to have been created recently, as it's even weaker than when players first create their accounts and has not evolved yet. The other thing that caught their attention was that the creator was the aforementioned mysterious Shirori. Their thoughts were cut short as the spider monster noticed them and ran away deeper into the labyrinth. Let's follow it for now, Mominga declared, genuinely curious about the player Shirori. I know I said Shirori will join Ain's old gown in this chapter, but as I started writing the chapter turned out like this. Anyway, if I write like I have planned, then Ain's old gown will meet Shirori and Shirori will join them by next or next to next chapter. I will try to wrap up Ogatrusil as quickly as possible so that the story can move on to Marvel. Also, Ains will not be going to Marvel with Shirori, as most of the fanfics of Overlord I have read have Ains going to the new world with the MC.